Hello everyone, this is Farhat from Farhat English Hub. Becoming fluent in English had never been my goal, but a compulsion. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my personal experience on the basis of which I have improved my English and now I'm capable of speaking it flawlessly without getting stuck at any point. I'll be sharing all the relevant steps which I have taken, and I feel these steps can be helpful for you. So this journey started from the beginning of 2022 when I decided to move in the UK as an international student to pursue my higher education. For doing so, I had to contact with some of my family members or friends. Those are already living in the UK and pursuing their higher education. So they had guided me step by step. How can I move there as an international student? So let's imagine what can be the first step. Of course, my all the educational certificates in the form of my degrees, these are going to be essential for getting admission in the universities. But what was the requirement of UKVI, like United Kingdom visa immigration? How do they allow people to move in their country? The first step that I was told was improve your English and take IELTS, then you can become eligible to move in the UK as an international student. So that was the day that I felt really disappointed. I felt like, how can I move in the UK? I don't know English. How can I take that IELTS test? And then the one of them, the people those had guided me, he said, you can't pass your IELTS exam in the first attempt. So take your first attempt as a try, and in the second attempt, possibly you will just like pass your that exam. I said, okay, I will see. And then I started thinking what to do and how to improve my English first, and then, of course, taking IELTS. Of course, for improving our language, we must need such environment in which we can have some practice with people, in which we can have in and out like the knowledge of that specific language. Without that, you can see like it's not easy thing to do. I was really disappointed in the beginning because, of course, I had a big dream to move in the UK. The place where I come from, no one can speak even better Urdu. Like they all speak Punjabi because basically, as long as I'm a Punjabi guy, so all the people in my surrounding they only know Punjabi as their native language, or you can say their mother tongue. So I just thought what to do. There is no way to improve English. Being the student of sciences, I didn't have any idea how to take the first step to improve my English. But like just spontaneously, one thing that got in my mind was improving my basic grammar with the traditional way it can be considered now. Improving the basic grammar, improving my sentence structure, and then I can like improve my English. That's what I did. I started watching videos from the YouTube. I followed like a couple of teachers from Pakistan, from India, of course, local teachers, because I could never understand the Western people. So I just learned tenses, 12 tenses within 2 weeks, right? Because I felt, how do we make our sentences? The sentence construction is only dependent on your tenses. Of course, other things are going to be somehow important, but the base, the foundation of the formation of our sentences is tenses. So I just learned tenses within 2 weeks, as I mentioned earlier, and then I started making their implementation in my daily routine, like whatever I used to do in my those days. So I used to just like implement these all the basic rules and regulations, and I started making little sentences. I used to take my own test of those tenses, right? Own test means like the rules and regulations that I had studied. I started implementing those rules and regulations while writing down the sentences, right? That's how I improved my basic grammar session. And when I was done with the almost 2 weeks and with these 12 tenses, so I thought what to do next. Right after the grammar, the next step that I had taken at that time was doing my listening and speaking practice at the same time. I started listening to motivational speakers of India and Pakistan because our pronunciations and accents are quite similar, like we can understand each other quite easily. So I started listening to some Indians and some Pakistanis at that time. Of course, initially it was not that understandable, but maybe after a couple of weeks, I started understanding what they're talking about. While watching these videos, I had just got a random video of one of the motivational speakers in India. She creates her more content about English language, but of course she gives speeches for encouraging the youth as well. So at that time, she recommended a few applications on which we can do speak and practice with people. I never had any experience of talking with people in English, whether it's on call or in person. But I downloaded that application and started using it. Of course, the first day was really strange for me. I didn't know how to respond people when people would be saying hello, how are you or something. So I would be just hanging out the call and saying to myself, how can I speak English with them? And maybe after two or three callers, I just put my phone down and decided to not use this app anymore. But later on, I realized the people that are speaking English, they are just like me. They are like human beings. If they can speak in English, why can't I? So from that very moment, I decided to talk with these people fearlessly without getting any nervousness because of course I didn't have any other chance to do my speaking practice because the background where I come from, no one can speak even better Urdu. They just speak Punjabi, right? So how could they speak English? So the next caller to whom I had a talk, so he asked me some social questions about myself, and I answered, and I started feeling little satisfied from myself that yeah, I can respond within these basic sentences, right? So I kept doing this activity for maybe a couple of days. So later on a very blessed day, I had met with an Indian brilliant guy. He recommended me another app by saying that this will be more effective to improve your English. I downloaded that app as well and started talking with people. So of course I had a really great experience. So this new app had gave me a chance to speak with the Western people because the previous app that I had been using at that time, it was somehow more famous in all these Asian countries, not in the Western countries, right? Though it was a global app, but still it was more famous in all these India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, like Japan, Korea, China, or Afghanistan, Iran, or these a few countries that was covering. But that one that I got later on, it was somehow had more traffic or more people from the West, from the Middle East, from the UK, from Canada, from America, from Europe, and some other regions as well. So it was somehow an incredible experience for me to talk with these people and improve my English. So one day I had a talk with two doctors. One of them was a medical doctor from Canada, and another was a PhD doctor from India. So they had a live streaming. They were talking with each other. So I just joined them out of nowhere. They asked me some social questions about myself, and I couldn't respond them well because, of course, I didn't know how to speak in English. Even I had some understandings of grammar and some listening practice that I had done before that, but still speaking and expressing my thoughts, that was really hard for me at that time. And when they felt that this person is not capable of speaking in English, they started ignoring me. They were not respecting me, and but still they kept me in their that live streaming, and on and off I was still in touch with them. I was somehow interrupting them and trying to do my speaking practice with them. But I kept myself with them for a few minutes, and then I left the live streaming. So there, that behavior has given me a lesson that unless you know English, people won't respect you. From that very moment, I decided to do more hard work and improve myself in the perspective of speaking in English. After doing the hard work of 4 or 5 months, I met with that Indian doctor to whom I had a talk. Like these two guys, these two doctors didn't give me that value, right? So when I started talking with that lady, she said, "Are you the same Farhat to whom I had a talk a few months earlier?" I said, "Yes, I'm the same." She said, "Oh, I don't believe in you because I feel you're not that person because the way he was speaking, your tone is totally changed, right? Like he was quite stuck. He didn't know how to tell his proper introduction. And you're a person, you're speaking English quite fluently. So how can it be possible?" So then I had highlighted a few things that we had discussed in that live streaming. which like reminded her that yeah, this is the same person to whom I had a talk.
She said, the way you're speaking, that's great. You're not taking pauses, you're not making so many mistakes, you are clearing your ideas, and you are doing such a great job. You know what, like her, this praise, her, this compliment has empowered me a lot. I always pray for her because she had empowered myself. She had given me a great motivation to do more hard work and improve myself. Whatever, like I was a good speaker or I was a bad speaker, whatever. But her that sentence like made me realize I'm a good speaker, right? And right after that, like I did more hard work, and alhamdulillah, I improved myself a lot in terms of speaking in English. So the compulsion of learning English language has made me an English language instructor today, alhamdulillah. I have done masters in English, and I have taken IELTS as well. And I have been teaching IELTS, PT, language at Oxford, Duolingo, and interviews preparations for over 2 years. And alhamdulillah, I'm really satisfied with my career. And if you feel this video was helpful for you, you may subscribe my channel or other social media platforms. You can follow them and share with your friends. Thanks for watching.